You know what all the cool kids are doing these days? Listening to podcasts. And what does Toxic Radio have? Podcasts, duh.
Just as I thought.
Go to toxicradio.net and check out our weekly schedule for the lineup of great shows. Miss any of them live? No worries.
Thank God, dude.
We're on all the top podcast platforms, or just find them at toxicradio.net or on the free app. The choice is yours. Be cool or not.
We're gonna be cool.
Toxic Radio. Get the podcasts and get infected. Got an idea for a podcast and think you have the talent to make it a reality? Already have a podcast, but been thinking, does the real world seem unsatisfying?
It's boring, but it's part of my life.
Well, time to level up and reboot reality. Join Toxic Mike and Demonoid as they explore the ever-evolving world of virtual reality and everything it has to offer. Whether you're just starting out or you've been there from the beginning, Reboot Reality will introduce, educate, and guide you to the best in VR. Find it wherever you get podcasts at toxicradio.net or on the free Toxic Radio app. Reboot Reality. Log in and get immersed.
What's up, everyone? It is the Godfrey, and you're back. Time to take it deep. There've been a lot of shit talking going on, a lot of things happening around the world that I'm pretty sure people were talking about for 2 days at least after it happened. And with that being said, we have lots to go on, but I got a little video clip for Mike to play in a few minutes once we get there, and that's it. I'm dealing with a nasty headache, so if I don't seem like I'm super enthused, it's not you guys, I promise. I just am toughing it out this day, because that's what I do. Can't leave the listeners hanging. Gotta tough it out, When I walked in the studio, it smelled like farts, and I got a migraine. Don't know what to say. Don't blame Mike. Just saying it did. Was that your brand, Mike?
Yes, it's my brand.
Just kidding. So, that being said, yeah, Will Smith, we're going to talk about that a little bit today. It might have been rehashed a little, but we got a little bit of a better take on it because the smoke is settled. I'm not so sure that I have my final take on it, but I will tell you that my overall take and what it is, and I think you might be interested in hearing it. So we'll go. I'm pretty sure there's nobody on Earth that didn't hear about that, right? I mean, you heard about it, Mike. I know you're not.
I think everybody is in the know and in on what has been happening.
You're not an Oscar watcher. Neither am I, to be honest.
No, but it doesn't matter. As long as you use the internet, you know what's going on.
I mean, you want to talk about the gift that keeps on giving with memes. I mean, this is like the best Christmas ever for the meme world. I can't think of something that has been better than the Will Smith slap for the meme world.
It has turned it upside down, sideways, and flipped a couple times so far, and it's not even done yet.
Godfrey fears punctuality. I don't think I was late this time, so fuck you, Brad.
So,
and you got it wrong. I spit in time's face. I don't respect punctuality.
I will say that Godfrey has a problem with punctuality.
But I think everybody does. I don't think it was my fault this time, but
what
was it? I think I had the description out before 6.
Literally like a minute, and then you were still sending me stuff at 6
Well, that's
o'clock.
on the fly stuff. You got to be ready for that.
You got to be. Come on, man. Be professional. What's wrong with you?
I expect perfection.
I expect perfection, professionalism. What's happening here? Don't slap me, bro.
Yeah, I respect you too much to do that. Not on live TV, anyway.
Don't slap me. Yeah, do it backstage where nobody's seeing.
So
where it's like a cell phone camera where nobody's quite sure what just happened.
A cell phone camera. You know how I know you're old? You said cell phone camera. So, yeah, when you get a chance, Mike, tee up
ready,
that video you sent me.
It's ready. You want to go to it right now?
Yeah, let's go to it right now.
Just do your thing.
Thought this was a good synopsis of it, and it ties into his speech, which I thought was very telling of where that came from. Once you hear what he said, even though it's kind of funny the way they did it, just listen to the cues he gives.
This is the one I sent you. So you sent me one that didn't load, but this is the right one?
Yep.
All right, so it should play. Let's see if it plays. Oh, wait a second. For some reason, we're having audio issues, so give me 1 second. There we go. Got it.
Being called on in my life to love people and to protect people. Now, I know
Jesus.
to do what we do, you got to be able to take abuse. You got to be able to have people talk crazy about you, disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay. Being called on.
Interesting. Now that's a brief clip of his post-reaction of winning the Oscar. I think that was while he won the Oscar. That was his acceptance speech.
That was during his acceptance speech, which made it look like he was a victim. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about this is, I felt like in the moment, letting it unfold, that this slap was more about than just that joke with Chris Rock.
Oh, absolutely.
And
100%.
I'll stick to this, and people say I'm wrong. If that was Jason Momoa or The Rock, he wouldn't have did that shit. Not Chris Rock, The Rock, because he knows he would have caught a rock bottom. But the thing about that is, he knows he messed up. And I'm not rating the guy off. All of us have messed up. But all I know that they asked him to leave. This came out later on during the week, and he said no, and they didn't want to cause a scene.
You are not fully up to date on your info. But go ahead.
What did something else come out today?
Yes. So I've been.
This moves faster than real news.
It moves fast and it doesn't stop. It's a freight train.
Is it fake though?
That you are no way going to get in front of. In no way, shape, or form. If
this isn't Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler.
This is already causing people. Once it starts causing people to lose money and or gain money, because one person's losing, one person's gaining. Like Chris Rock is gaining right now, but Will Smith is losing. The Oscars, the Academy is losing.
Does that make them lose money though?
Yeah, because they've got people that they got interested parties that are a part of this that don't agree with the way it's going down, and those interested parties need to be kept happy.
So you mean financiers?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going to lose his Oscar?
So here we go. Here's the story. Straight off the presses from my favorite news agency and yours.
Onion.com.
Wow. No, a little bit more classy than that. TMZ, they had earlier reported that, yes, indeed, they did ask him to leave because that's what the Academy said. But now it says the Academy lied about asking him to leave.
Who says he lied? Who says
it? Says Will Smith was never asked to leave the Oscars after he slapped Chris Rock. In fact, the opposite is true. He was told by the producer of the show he could stay. This, according to sources with direct knowledge who were present.
I say bullshit. I don't believe it.
As you know by now, the Academy said Wednesday they had asked Will to leave the Dolby Theater after the slap, but he refused. 3 sources who were at the ceremony and witnessed various conversations tell TMZ, yes, after the slap, Academy officials were backstage with Will's reps and were heated. They were having heated conversations about what had to be done and what had gone down. They said, we're told there was a split among the officials. Some did want him to be booted, but others did not. There was various discussions during several commercial breaks, but they never, ever did reach a consensus. It says, we are told Will was aware there was talks about asking him to leave the theater during one of the commercial breaks. We're told Oscar producer Will Packer walked up to Will and said, we do not want you to leave. According to this source, that happened just after 8 p.m., around 35 minutes after the slap, and but then where he told him that he could stay, but Will went on to win the Best Oscar 5 minutes later.
So, here's my thing. I think Will needs help.
He does.
And I'm going to tell you who I think is a big culprit in this, and people might wildly disagree with me. His wife.
Big culprit, huge culprit.
She has emasculated this man over the last year. And what do I mean by that? Why do I feel that way? Well, let me tell you something. Imagine yourself if you're married to a woman, and I'm not saying Will is innocent here. We don't know the inner workings of their marriage. But let's understand that the inner workings that we do know that are public are what I'm about to talk about. And therefore, that is what's on, the plate of public opinion. Now, I think she should have grabbed him and said, Will, you don't have to go up there right now and do that. Okay? Now, am I blaming Jada? No. But he laughed, she gave a look, and then he didn't laugh, right? So there was a joke made by Regina Hill pointing to their open marriage, reportedly if they actually have one. But what started these jokes? Where did this come from? Well, New York Post talks about Will Smith was already on edge after months of marriage jokes when he slapped Chris Rock. And I felt like after he said, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth, he was talking about more people than just Chris Rock, right? I think Chris Rock might have been a straw that broke the camel's back. I don't think it's justified even if that's the case. He should have went behind stage and did that. He's been pontificating and saying how he should have won an Oscar for years. He finally wins one. And even if the Academy takes away his Oscar, it doesn't matter because no one's going to ever remember that night for him winning his Oscar. They're going to remember it for the slap, right? If they didn't want him, if he felt that joke was embarrassing for his wife, well, him slapping Chris Rock live on national TV has cemented that joke now. Now everybody will remember that joke. It would have been yesterday's news. We wouldn't be talking about it now, and neither would everybody else if he just stayed in his seat and maybe handled it behind stage with Chris. I don't think Chris knew. Even if he did, suck it up, Buttercup. But this is the thing that I think is really behind a lot of this, and it's Will Smith. Allegedly his wife had a affair with someone that was introduced to her through her son. Right?
I don't know exactly the
let's
ins and outs of how they were introduced, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
I'm going to bring this up to you. And listen. That's where all this came from, right? About their open relationship, that a broken marriage.
A lot of what everybody is saying is wrong with Will and his mental stability or lack thereof. They believe stems from this. Obviously, it was very open and in the public, and Will cried on national television about it and addressed the fact that his girl even said that she was not happy with the relationship and she went to seek others. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So listen, a marriage is tough. I've never been married. I haven't walked in their shoes. I'm not judging what happened inside of it. However, I think she hasn't never been there for her man. Everybody talks about, she should protect, he should be protecting women, black women, this, and that. I don't want to hear all that. That's not what this is. Because if you think that it's okay to put your hands on someone because of words, you'll be going to jail because you're not Will Smith. Okay? So that's the truth.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the chat room.
What?
With all of their talking about he needed publicity, it was staged, it was a distraction.
I thought it was staged.
I don't think
first.
When you see, these are people talking with emotion. And when you take emotion out of it, when you take complete emotion out of it, when you look at the players that are going on here, if this was staged, right now Will Smith literally is possibly going to lose that Oscar, which puts a huge, huge black mark on his record as an actor. He'll be banned from the Academy more than likely.
I think he'll come. Right, I think Mel Gibson made a comeback after all the bullshit.
This is different than the Mel Gibson thing. Mel Gibson was recorded. You didn't know. This was nationally televised all over the world for everybody to see live. The Mel Gibson thing, yes, it was bad. It was horrible. It was horrendous. But you had to find it. You had to go searching for it. It wasn't plastered everywhere because everybody didn't know about it. It was leaked footage or leaked audio. If you remember back then, this is something that happened on a stage with a performer doing his performance and an audience member. Doesn't matter that it was the Oscars. Doesn't matter that it was celebrities. An audience member got up out of his seat and assaulted him and went back and sat down. the backlash to this.
I think they were probably begging Chris Rock not to roast him because if I was Chris Rock, I would have started a brawl. I don't care how big he was. I would have threw a joke and be like, "Oh, maybe you should be." If you were hitting your wife that hard in the bedroom, you wouldn't have to hit me like that. I would have went completely there if he slapped me in front of everybody. That way,
if you play it back and you listen closely, right after he gets slapped and he kind of composes himself, he goes, "I could." Ooh, like there's a little moment where he's like, "I could." Like, say something, do something.
Who, Chris Rock?
Chris Rock. But he was the performer. And as a performer, no matter what happens, first off, you're supposed to have handlers at the venue.
Good point.
Take care of that.
Harvey Weinstein kept his Oscar. They're not taking Will's away.
That has been the talk, is that they're not going to take it
listen,
away.
I think it's a moot point to take it away. No one's going to remember that night for his Oscar. He fucked that legacy up forever by himself.
Here's the difference between Harvey Weinstein and Chris Rock. Or not Chris Rock, Will Smith. Here's the difference between Harvey Weinstein. Even though what Harvey Weinstein did was unbelievably and insanely horrible, this happened on the stage at the event. This happened right before he received it.
It does seem a little off, responding to Tom. But, Gina, here's the thing. No one should target a wife about having a loss of hair. There's been worse jokes made at the Oscars. You don't know that he knew, and reports is that he didn't know about it. He's made jokes about it before, and that's why I think this was a build-up. He made a joke once about, like, everybody thinks it's a crime that Will Smith didn't win an Oscar for concussion, but what was the real crime is he got $20 million for Wild Wild West. Like, he's made several jokes about him before. I feel like that wasn't all directed at Chris Rock. That was a public display of him trying to score masculinity points from his wife. He laughed at it, then looked at her. Mm-hmm. She didn't think it was funny. She should have grabbed him by the arm because there's no winner in anybody in his family, and people talk about, protect women, protect black women. Okay, but here's the thing. If that's the way you want to protect them, you're going to go to jail if you're not Will Smith.
It's assault.
And the thing is they're lucky that Chris Rock handled it like professional. He turned in a joke. He's like, well, that was the biggest night in television history, And the thing is, you don't want to do that to a comedian that could roast you. He's still processing it. I've heard he's had a set and he hasn't talked about it yet. He said he's still processing it. And the thing is I just think that's complete bullshit. When I look at him, that wasn't just one joke. That wasn't just that one singular incident and he went off. That's not Will Smith. Even his mom said that. She's never seen him act like that. Because he's been going through months of... I'm not destroying him, Gene, for his worst moment. Come on now. We're talking about where he's at. Did I say that he should be canceled forever? Did I say he should never be gone? I'm not even saying he should get his Oscar taken. I'm destroying him for assaulting someone on stage and then invoking God at the end.
It's assault.
Give me a break with that.
At the end of the day, somebody at my work said to me, I'm proud of him for standing up for his woman. There's other ways you could do that. On national television to assault another man.
He didn't target Will's wife. He made a joke. They've made jokes before. That is so blown out of proportion. It's a raft for an excuse to excuse his actions.
Can we all remember Ricky Gervais when he would host and he would just destroy everybody and everything?
They asked Ricky Gervais about this.
And he said that if that would have happened, he would have brought up the fact that she cheated on him. He would have put her more on blast.
Because if you want to go there, you want to dance like that, dance like that. My thing is I like Will Smith. Always been a Will Smith fan. I've grew up watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm not writing him off. I think he needs help. I think he needs help because that was him going over the edge.
Brad, he did slap a reporter for the reporter went to go kiss him on the cheek. Or went in like he was going to go for a kiss, and Will slapped him. But
Tom Cruise has done that too. I believe.
Whole thing with the bald head with his wife. First off, there are a lot of women that do bald head do's where they're doing it for fashion. From what we understand, as it stands right now, Chris didn't know that she had alopecia. Not every comedians don't know what everybody in the audience has medically.
I didn't.
I know that I didn't know, and apparently she had a special where she talked about it. Doesn't mean everybody's in the know, but you got to understand that comedian on stage is telling jokes. He's not attacking anybody personally. He's trying to say things that he thinks are funny in that moment, given who are out there, and they were sitting dead center front row. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Give me a break. It's a
hold on.
comedian
And
doing
here's
what
the thing.
comedians
This
do.
is what I think. Regina Hill earlier tonight made a joke about their marriage, and a lot of people aren't talking about that. That could have been the catalyst too. And
Yeah, there's a joke about them. She doesn't care if he sleeps with other women. There was a lot of jokes made about a lot of people. Yes, we know now that she has alopecia. Look, my dad had alopecia. My dad was depressed over it. It killed him inside. He hated it. All right, I understand alopecia because it was in my family.
yeah,
But it doesn't matter. This was a comedian in an atmosphere that does that. And whether or not they were offended by it, they could have talked to somebody that worked there. They could have went and talked to Chris afterwards because they know him. They could have expressed their discontent later. To actually assault somebody because they use words, they say something that you don't like, no, that draws a line. You can't just hit somebody because they say something that you disapprove of.
So Regina Hill, right? She's from Little Star 51 mentioned the A-list couple while hosting the Oscars on Sunday, March 27th, during a bit where she said certain audience members' COVID-19 tests have been lost. Hall called actors including Bradley Cooper, Lou, and Timothy Chalamet up to the stage, and quickly became clear that the only people with allegedly missing tests were her single Hollywood crushes. She said, "Will Smith, you're married, but you're on the list too." Hall quipped, "Looks like Jada approved it." So there's one shot at the marriage, and I feel for him. I feel like he's been emasculated. I feel like she should have stepped up and grabbed him by the arm, or said it doesn't need to go that far. Maybe she missed the moment and didn't. But the thing is I feel like their business has been on Front Street, and he's been emasculated over the last year because there's a kid that comes in the house, his son's friends, and allegedly they had an affair. I mean, if that, I'm fucking pissed, and it's all out in the open, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, really?
I know, obviously,
and you can't take
emasculating everything.
And he laughed at first, and that's why a lot of people think it's fake. And I get, like, older wrestling fans start thinking Jerry Lawler, Andy Kaufman, right? And I don't think it was that. It'd be genius if it was, but I know the Oscars ratings were down. I just think it was a straw that broke the camel's back. He was in a slump. Will Smith was in a bad way, and when I would have thought, he hit him. Not that it was right, but the way he said, "Keep your wife's name out of my fucking mouth" twice, it almost felt like he was telling everybody to keep his wife's name out of his mouth.
Exactly. This comment here, I thought he knew she had a disease. Reports are flying out like crazy that he did not know that she had that disease, which is understandable for a busy man in the industry. Another comment from Sean, words clearly didn't work. Just because I make fun of you, you tell me stop, and I make fun of you again, doesn't give you the right to assault me.
When did he say stop?
I don't know. So, somebody in here says, right here, Sean says, talking was tried in the past with Chris Rock. So apparently he saw something where they had told him, please don't do this. I did not see that report, but even if they did.
So Sean, what you want is all comedian to be vanilla yogurt, no sugar, and everybody's got to be approving it before they get offended. You've never laughed at a joke where someone was calling someone out. Okay, sure. That's what we'll do. We'll have a Russian comedy club from now on, and it will be communist ruled, and we'll make sure everybody is okay with the joke before it gets said. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about racism. I'm not talking about stuff like that. I mean, like, comedy sometimes supposed to be uncomfortable. This is where we're going to go as society, right? And, okay, he offended you. Now you can strike him. So we're going to be at comedy clubs, and someone's going to get heckled. I've been heckled. I'd be called a wigger at clubs because
Godfrey, if I made fun of you and just destroyed you and you said, Mike, please don't do that,
I would beat you up after the show.
And I went ahead and did it again, disregarded what you said. And the cops come because you hit me in the face. Are the cops going to be like, well, he asked you to stop? Like, no, you assaulted me.
I want to know, did Chris Rock try to talk to Will Smith prior? I don't remember hearing that. Maybe that's the case.
I don't think the era of snowflake comedy begins. I hope not, because every single comedian on the face of this earth is coming out in response and in support of Chris. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't see where they talk to him about other jokes, but maybe it's buried in the internet by all the current stuff that's out there. Maybe that happened. I still don't think slapping a guy on it doesn't. Here's the thing: forget what is assault or not assault. What does that do for his legacy, right? Like, And I'm not talking about how I see him through his eyes, what my opinion is. I keep bringing up the point that was his first Oscar ever, and I think he had a good chance in winning, in other movies he's been in. And, a lot of people were saying he was robbed when he didn't win it for concussion, and I get it, right? But he finally wins, has a great performance, and no one's gonna remember what movie he won it for when you look at this 20 years from now. They're gonna remember the slap.
A couple of things. I'm sorry, I keep jumping in. Gene, he did say something about her a few years ago at the Oscars. Him knowing about her disease, there's no proof that he knew anything about her disease. Going back to Brad, Brad put forth, it's fake. Chris Rock's ticket sales went up. Oscar views for next year skyrocket.
Of course his ticket sales are going to go up after that. But Chris Rock was already selling out before that,
here's
Brad.
Here's the
You're
problem.
acting like he's a two-rate comedian.
His tour started today. The ticket sales skyrocketed for scalpers. So I don't.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
So Chris isn't seeing any of that money. I right now everybody's playing damage control. Everybody's PRing right now. Everybody's trying to get.
He did apologize
their own
afterwards.
spin.
Listen, I think the man should be forgiven. I want to see him get help. I would like to. I don't want. I don't want to see Will Smith go away. I really think. This should be used as an example. I just feel like he's been out in public opinion. The guy's crying on TV. And I feel like my guess, because this is pure speculation, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes as far as what treatment he does or doesn't get. But to me, you're a millionaire. You could take off 6 months, 5 months, 3 months, 2 months, whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got to worry about filing for FFA or FLA or whatever, family leave or all that bullshit.
FMLA.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it is. You don't need. That's the FFA is totally different. You don't have to worry about that. You can go fix yourself if you really want to, but do you know if there's a problem yet? Have you hit your rock bottom? I'm going to guess this is Will Smith's rock bottom.
I'm going to guess it is too. I'm going to guess a year or two
I hate
down
the
the
get
road.
helpline. Give me another example. What do you mean? You hate the example of someone needing to get help?
Example of why he needs to get help, I think is what he's trying to say.
So you haven't seen what's been going on with him over the past year outside of this? I would have told you that he needed help before then.
Yeah,
because of his wife and his marriage being open in plain view, and his son meeting his son's friend, meeting his wife, and having a rumored affair with him all over public. How is that not something that's damaging? I don't understand. I think any man would be upset about that.
Yeah, we're not sure if it's going to have to go down, at least for me, the road of getting help.
No, that's not where I'm at, Gene.
Something's going to come out.
See, you want to defend the slap by, because of what Chris Rock said. And that's your point there. That's not where I'm going here. I'm saying open marriages are a thing. It's such a thing that he feels okay with it. And he cries about it on TV.
Yeah, Will was crying about it on TV, saying he felt
he's
like
okay
less
with
of a
the
man.
open marriage. An open marriage works when you're both openly okay with it. You know what I mean? And rules are respected. Like, I'm sorry, I don't buy that BS. I'm going by how the man's acting. And I'm not the only one saying this. You can look this all over the place that predated the Oscars. I mean, it's out there. I feel for him. I feel like she should have backed him up and kept him from doing that. Listen, I don't begrudge him being upset. I don't begrudge him being mad about it. I think for us to sit here and say that it's okay that Chris Rock did it, or not okay that he did it, that's fine, but it's okay to say Will Smith was able to choose violence because he hurt his feelings. Okay, sure. That's how we're going to roll. Okay, you could put your hands on someone if they say bad words about you. All right, now if someone gets hit, and you're like, well, they provoked the guy, sure, but that's not how the law works, right? So my point is that the guy definitely needs help. Not like Tiger Woods needs help. I need to go to sex addict counseling because I was banging all the porn stars help. Like legitimate help because I think he's under a lot of stress.
Nobody's dogging his actor ability.
I'm not taking anything away from this
his
guy's
track
actor.
record at all. Nobody.
Nothing at all. This has nothing to do with his ability as an actor. Zero to do with his ability as an actor. And so I don't know what that means.
Here's my bottom line on all this. No matter what situation, no matter where you're at, it is never okay to go out to a comedy club
Well, this was in a comedy.
No, it wasn't a comedy club, but go out to an event where a comedian is performing and get up and assault that man on stage. Anywhere you go where there are performers on stage,
But Gina,
putting
here's the
on a
thing.
performance
She's
to
saying
assault
anyone
them,
fucking
no.
with my wife in that setting. Let's keep context here. You're not at the red carpet. I'm not at the red carpet. Oscars and being in a bar are two different environments, two different settings, different expectations. You don't expect to get roasted at a bar. You might get roasted when you go to the Oscars because it happens all the time.
And
So guess what? That's what you wanted, that award. You wanted to be in that atmosphere, and he made a G.I. Jane joke, and I guess we're gonna justify that. So yeah, he made a comment about his wife, but in real life, this is actor world. This is a fantasy world.
words.
It's just not, it's not gonna happen.
Guess who? The only ones who give words meaning are us, human beings. We invented them. To sit here and say somebody is talking smack on somebody and you're going to beat the shit out of them,
But Gene,
you're in the wrong.
When did he say,
You were
please
in
stop
the wrong."
talking shit about my wife, I'm going to smack you, do it again? Don't remember that. I guess we're going to go into the world of, he talked to her about it before. I haven't seen that. Maybe it's out there. Maybe you can link me, or maybe you can find it, Mike, that he talked about him talking smack about his wife before the show, but he didn't give him that chance. Maybe if he took him backstage and said, hey, keep talking shit about my wife, I'm going to smack the shit out of you.
Yeah. At least that's a warning,
Okay.
even though it's still wrong.
Sure.
Still wrong.
still.
You don't bring violence into it. That's the end of it.
Make comments, but Gina, if they make comments in a bar, it's a whole different story. Like, this is the Oscars. This isn't the corner tavern. Like, it's not the same world.
So at the end of the day.
And Sean, I agree. Listen, you know what? I can't litigate whether he should be upset or not, right? Like Will. And Sean says he should have just caught him backstage. I don't know if you mean caught him by, like, catch him with a right, or just caught him and talked to him. But either way, yeah, I agree 100%. Because if that was emotionally charged, wait to go backstage. I feel like he was making a statement. I just think it was a statement. I feel like he was like, you know what? That's it. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. And that was that. I don't think he said, Chris is the guy. Okay. All right. If Chris is the guy, then I just not buying it. I think Chris was the guy that was there, and he was the straw. He says, Brad says Gene lost all credibility saying Will is a top 5 actor. I guess we'll have to do a top 5 actor list one day when we're on the show. So, yeah, I think we've beaten the hell out of this horse. That's Will Smith. But we're going to have...
you think we did? The world hasn't even beaten the dead horse yet.
I mean, more came out that I didn't even know about.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more. And, I mean, the words from individuals like Jim Carrey, Wanda Sykes, Ellen, Joe Rogan. There's a lot of people.
Oh, Joe talked about it?
Discussing this and saying
I
how
think
much
Joe
Will was in the
Joe would have
wrong.
put him in a Kimura. Or
A lot of people saying Will was in the wrong. Whoopi, who's a member of the Academy, saying Will was in the wrong. And the Academy coming out saying there will be repercussions and punishments for what happened.
I mean, I don't know about that. Like, what are they going to take his Oscar away? I mean,
No, they're not. So I don't think. I think
it's already happened naturally. His repercussions, like, what are
it's
they
naturally in the court of public opinion, absolutely. But they are now. All eyes are on the Academy. The Academy even came out and said, "We have already taken a look at ourselves and realized we could have handled this better." So the fact that they're already taking responsibility for the fact that they didn't handle it properly.
Well, they know he's going to win, right?
Yeah.
So then they're asking themselves, do we want to take the guy who's going to win the Oscar or one of the Oscars off of the event?
Right. I do not think that they're going to take. I do not think that they're going to.
I meant the time when it happened. The rumor is that they were going to kick him out, and then there's an argument, and then they're saying they're not. I mean, if you're doing a show, are you going to say, well, the guy who's going to win it's not going to be here? I don't know. It's a tough call.
Yeah. It is a tough call.
We're going to have Alex call in.
He is in the waiting room. He's on the sidelines.
Oh, is he? So, guys, we're going to switch it up
in.
here. I'm a little bit more happy of a less controversial topic. I haven't seen it yet. Mike might not have. Doesn't matter.
Great segue, by the way.
Yeah, fuck him.
Like screeching halt
Well, we're staying in
change it up.
movies. We're staying in movies.
I'm just busting your chops.
We're gonna do a review of Batman, or I would say Alex the movie guy is gonna do a review. And no, Alex Jones. No, it's not. It's Alex the movie guy. It's not Alex Jones. Alex Jones. We don't want to get all 10 of our viewers banned, from because he's on here. But
I'll take the nickname. By the way, I don't mind it.
Alex Jones. Yeah.
Alex the movie guy.
Oh, Alex the movie guy. Yeah, that's different. So we're gonna have you, scale of 1 to 5 is your rating, right?
That's
1
right.
to 5 stars.
Yep.
You've seen the Batman. I haven't, so I'm impartial to it. I've seen a lot of people rubbing themselves saying, "Oh, it's the best Batman ever." I see it all the time, and I feel like Batman and Spider-Man specifically are 2 movie series that have to try to be different because it almost feels like a recycled storyline a lot of different times. Like, how many times did Spider-Man do the origin of Spider-Man with different guys, right? Is at least 2-3 times?
Yeah. Like, how many times do you need to see Uncle Ben die?
Right. I mean, I love Spider-Man, don't get me wrong. And the same thing with Batman, right? We've had several. I've lost count of how many Batmans. But this latest iteration, I'm hearing people rave about. So what were your feelings on this movie?
Well, without spoiling anything, I want to say right off the bat, no pun intended, there was, at the very beginning, Robert Pattinson is voicing over kind of his inner monologue. And I was like, bold choice by the director to do inner monologue. But it really set the tone for the type of movie
inner
that
monologues are always
is.
kind of sketchy,
It depends. It really depends on how it's done. And here's the thing. Batman is the greatest detective of all time, according to the comics. And it really set the tone of this is a detective story. And it hit the mark on that with his tone. They did a great choice casting Robert Pattinson for this, which, a lot of people think of him as just the Twilight guy. Like, forget what you know about Robert Pattinson.
I've never seen
you're
Twilight
him on.
because I'm a dude. No, I'm just saying. I've never seen Twilight, so Mike has seen every single one, but
it's the first movie was it set the mark for me that I was just like, this isn't the type of movie for me. I didn't do the Twilight series, so anyway, not to say it's a bad movie, just not for me. Anyway, the Batman though, I really want to give it a solid 4 out of 5, and it's really because of the directing and cinematography. He plays a great Batman. He does not play the traditional Bruce Wayne you've seen before, this billionaire playboy who's, very Tony Stark-like. They set the tone at the beginning that this is 2 years after his parents were killed. He's only been the Batman for 2 years. So he's still dealing with like emotional trauma of his parents being killed in front of him. And, he hasn't really adapted to the whole, I have to hide my identity as the Batman. He's playing the Batman in this movie. And if they do follow through with the sequel to this, maybe we'll see that change, but it's not crucial to the plot.
So everybody knows he's the
movie.
Batman in the movie? Like, it's not hidden that he's the Batman?
Oh, no. It's definitely, no one knows that Bruce Wayne is the Batman, if that's what you're getting
Well,
at.
yeah, I mean, like, so you're saying he was younger. He wasn't like Bruce Wayne, the director of his company or in business, the other iterations of Bruce Wayne, so to speak, while in Batman.
I mean, everyone knows Bruce Wayne in this. It's apparent that he goes to a funeral. I'm not spoiling anything, I promise. He goes to a funeral and people are like, oh, wow, Bruce Wayne is here. But yeah, he's still well known, but he's not the loud, boisterous type of billionaire that we've seen in other Batman movies. So the Riddler, by the way, who's the villain in this, they did a really good job of making the riddles challenging. It really is like watching a detective story mixed with an escape room. So it was really kind of cool to see that unfold throughout the plot.
That's interesting. All right, that sounds
definitely want to see
promising.
it again. I definitely want to see it again. I'm sure there are things that I missed in terms of the riddles and stuff, but there were some gaps in terms of like, I don't know how to say it without spoiling it in this case. There were some gaps. He's totally bulletproof, but you could tell his face is exposed, and it's like, of course they don't aim for the face. Duh.
One commenter says, you give 4 out of 5 4.5 out of 5. He said the only issue with him was the length and the amount of unnecessary filler.
It's a brooding movie. There's a lot of darkness to it, and it's kind of I don't like comparing, franchise to itself, because The Dark Knight to me is still, the best one, but this is close. This is a really good one still. And they definitely set it up for a sequel.
So this is second to Dark Knight all time as far as Batman goes.
I would say it's second to The Dark Knight in my opinion. The cinematography is really, really well done. They definitely made it darker and grittier, but it's also like, it really is like watching a crime detective story. And Robert Pattinson did a great job, but again, my only gripe was that he's not that, billionaire playboy, and I feel like it's not necessary yet. I think they'll build that up maybe, since they did set it up for a sequel. But the plot of the Riddler in general was very good. I feel like his intent at the beginning is very different. It definitely turns on a dime at the end. And again, I'm trying not to spoil anything by saying that, but there's some justification that has to be made. But what I like about this movie especially is that the Batman comes into the picture of Gotham. Crime actually goes up. And, he's like, what am I doing wrong? He starts to question himself. And without spoiling anything, he is a very violent character, of course, as Batman. And people fear him. But I like the message of what is the true definition of a hero. Is it just beating up bad guys, or is it being a beacon of hope? And they did a really good job of kind of getting that message across.
That's interesting. Yeah, I always felt like Batman was a loner. Like, he never had like a bunch of friends around him. Like, I mean, he's got Alfred, right? I don't know if he was in this movie or not, but
yeah,
he was.
And he did a great job too. That was a great casting choice too.
But he's not like Spider-Man has the dorky kid from school that he's friends with. He's got his random girlfriend. He's got like a little clique every time, right? Almost. And I'm comparing the two because I feel like those are the two most recycled individual comic book hero movies that have been made. Spider-Man and Batman, right? Two different franchises, but two different characters. But I always feel like Batman's been more of a loner. I like, he's, I guess it depends on like where you're watching him. Like, is it the cartoon series? Is it, the old school series? Is it the movie? It just depends on, I guess, what type of Batman character they have cast it in that movie. But in general, for the most part, he's a loner, right? I mean, wouldn't we describe him as an introvert, so to speak?
Bruce Wayne is. Batman, as he develops, of course, there's the Justice League. He's got Robin. He's got Nightwing. Batgirl. The cast grows and grows when it comes to Batman in terms of his sidekicks and his team partnerships.
Yeah, true. Batman and Robin, and
yeah, it grows and grows. But there's certainly
when he used to wear underwear back in the day.
Oh God! Thank God they didn't go that direction with the costume design. They really still modernized and but dark. I like the bat on his chest. They don't get into the details on it, and you could see from the trailer, if you look real close, it looks like it's made out of a gun. And I wonder if that's the gun that was used to kill his parents. Just a theory.
Yeah, Sean says Dark Knight is 5 out of 5, so he has Dark Knight number 1 too. It sounds like. I'm gonna see it. Maybe I can I'm going to Florida tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe I could find a bootleg somewhere and download it on the thumb drive. Maybe it will be on the plane and I'll get lucky.
Remember that you said thumb drive, by the way. And if you do see it, message me because you're gonna laugh.
There's got to be something with that in here because Sean in the feed, in the deep feed as we call it, he basically said the word thumb drive. So now I'm gonna hear that and be like, oh, that's what it's about. So
fun Easter egg there. Yeah,
gonna be going down to Hollywood Beach to catch all the fucking rain that's gonna be happening for the next couple of days. So that's fucking sweet. Go to Florida.
Enjoy.
It rains. Fucking great. Might as well book it during hurricane season. Not going to Key West, I don't think, but who knows? But yeah, that's a maybe I'll get lucky. I mean, is it still in theaters?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, it's not going to be on the plane then. Damn it.
Sometimes they do that. I've seen that where you can. It's usually like a premium movie that you have to buy on United, but
I buy it. I
depends
would
what
buy it.
airline.
100% I buy
I
it.
strongly recommend it.
Mike, are
I
you
think when the movie comes out, I'll either buy digital or Blu-ray.
So wait, oh, I want to talk about that. I'm glad that you brought that up. Who the fuck buys DVDs anymore? No offense. Digital or Blu-ray. I mean, I can tell you do. You got to be really... Mike, do you buy DVDs anymore?
Nobody buys DVDs anymore.
I feel like the DVD is the new CD.
No, but only one that is doing DVDs are the same people that are still collecting VHS.
Alex, are you collecting VHS?
No. And the only reason I'm getting the Blu-ray of like Spider-Man No Way Home is there's supposedly like 3 hours of additional content, and that comes out April 12th. So I advanced ordered that, and I was like, I gotta see. It's a whole other movie worth of
All right,
content.
I guess like if there's any additional content thing, I could totally get that. Or maybe if it's like a trilogy. I have a ton of DVDs, but like my average of buying DVDs, I remember back in the day, it's like, oh, it's gonna come out on DVD now. We're gonna pick it up. Now it's like, it's not in the $5 bin yet. It's not in the $2 bin. Like, I don't know.
I buy
man.
like one a year. I buy one Blu-ray a year at most.
You know what made me think of this? Is Storage Wars. They'll go into a locker, they'll be like, oh, here's a box of DVDs. That's $10. There's like 500 DVDs in there. You know, that's $5, you know, whatever. I mean, I think that is yeah, that's the new CD.
I can't remember the last Blu-ray that I bought, but like, you know, I got a Blu-ray, for instance, for like supporting the campaign to like, it was like a Kickstarter for Super Troopers 2.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I bought that.
One of their big contributions to be like, I wanted everything, but yeah,
I don't
I
even
was
remember.
one
I
of the
swear
early
I saw
adopters.
Super Troopers 2, but I don't remember it.
It was all right. I mean, it's hard to beat the first one. It's such an original.
Yeah, like,
comedies
listen,
like that are hard to
no
top.
one was anticipating that movie. It caught people off guard. You can't make a sequel to something like that. I know people wanted to. I get it. But that's hard to make a sequel to a movie like that. Like,
It's a cult classic now.
like Hangover 2, it was all right. But, I mean, is it ever going to be as good as 1? No. You're rehashing old lines, rehashing old characters. You know, you're hoping for that same magic. You got to have different characters, you know? Be like Borat.
I did like the second one for Borat 2 was meh. I liked Borat 2. Don't get me wrong, but Super Troopers 2, I definitely saw like they did a lot of good new content. They weren't trying to recreate the magic of the first one and reuse jokes. It was definitely original still, but
We should do that. So
Yeah.
that's the new. So the DVD is going to become the floppy disk. That's what we're going to say. So Tom says, I showed my 19-year-old brother a floppy disk, and I told him if he could tell me what it was, I'd give him $100. He could not tell me. Damn.
it's a save icon. Why do you have a 3D printed version of a save icon?
Yeah. What is that? Sometimes it's, you know, you get the digital copy with the Blu-ray so you can download it to the computer, stuff like that. So I kind of get it. But it's, let me ask you a question. When you use your Blu-ray player, do you have to dust it off? Because it's been that long.
Blu-ray player. I use my Xbox.
Oh, okay. See,
Come on.
I have a Blu-ray player and an Xbox, but, you know, that's because the Xbox is on the 4K TV. But gotcha. All right, so that is awesome. Thank you for doing that view. Or that review, and that was pretty good. I'm going to see it. Mike, have you seen it yet?
I have not. That's why during this whole entire conversation, I took my headset off.
What a
Earmuffs.
weirdo.
I never spoil it. Come on.
I thought he was oddly quiet. Okay,
Well,
well,
it was yeah. When you notice I haven't talked for 20 minutes, I took the headset off.
nice. All right, Alex, anything coming out on the horizon
Oh yeah.
that you think you want to review? What's next?
I mean, long term, I know Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness comes out soon.
I'm into that. I recently watched one, and it was awesome.
That's a must see for me, of course. Anything Marvel, I'm always down for, but I'm getting more and more critical of their stuff just because it's entering kind of a new era.
I
But
think
did
it's
just
entering
see
saturation era, in my opinion. I think between the movies and every series that they're putting out, I think they're saturating the content with Marvel. And I think I need more Star Wars and less Marvel. That's what I think.
If they keep doing it well, I'll keep watching. And just after seeing the new series Moon Knight premiere last night, Yeah, I'm
How's
still,
Hawkeye?
you know,
Was Hawkeye good? Do you think that was a good series?
I definitely enjoyed Hawkeye. If you're thinking about watching it, wait till the holidays because it has like a bit of a holiday feel to it.
So I feel like the Star Wars series have all like fucking hit every single one so far. I don't feel that way about every single Marvel series. I feel like they've had a few. I haven't watched them all, but I will say Hawkeye was not as good as I thought it was. And Winter Soldier, I thought was okay. I didn't think it was great.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, meh.
Yeah,
Not my
no
favorite.
charisma.
Yeah, it was just missing something. You know, WandaVision was great. I thoroughly enjoyed Loki. Definitely set up the whole next phase of the MCU using Loki. Um, you know, Doctor Doom, I think, is right around the corner. And I think Moon Knight really, if you keep your eyes peeled, you'll see some Easter eggs for Doctor Doom.
Nice. Doc. Yeah, I feel like, you know, could they do a movie? I always liked Thanos as an ultra super villain, right? In the comic books. Like, he always had all this power. Doesn't Doctor Doom have that same power? Have they explored a Doctor Doom feud enough in an Avengers movie? Like, I know he was part of one of the movies as far as the, Silver Surfer. Like, I feel like they could go deeper into that.
Yeah, I think if they follow the comics a little more closely for his like humanitarian side and him being a villain but with the wrong intent, I think they would take a good direction for the MCU. But when it comes to, the Doctor Doom you've seen in the past, he's just this power hungry, roided out monster. Like that's not the Doctor Doom from the comics. He's this guy from
I mean, you got
fake
Galactus. That's
place.
another good villain, right? And
Oh, yeah.
Silver Surfer. I mean, you could. Why don't they do like I want to see a true more origin movies for the villains.
Well, they got to line up the next big bad. Thanos is gone. What's the next big bad of the MCU? And we don't have one in plain sight.
But is he? Do we get Alligator Thanos?
Alligator Thanos. The fuck is that?
Come on. Just because there's an alligator Loki doesn't mean there's going to be an alligator Thanos. If you haven't seen Loki yet, you're going to have to see it to get that right.
Godfrey, what the hell is that?
I'm halfway through Loki, so
it's not a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
there's about to be horse Thor. There's going to be Thor with the horse head.
See?
I just feel like there's a lot of good characters in the comic book world. More so in Marvel and DC. Sorry, DC. DC stands for Dick Comics. I'm sorry, DC fans. But anyway, I mean...
Detective.
Yeah, well, DC has been doing a bit. They've been stepping up lately, actually. I think they've been doing a little bit better. But I just want to see more outside-of-the-box thinking as far as character selection. Like, were we supposed to get a Gambit movie years ago and we never did?
Yeah, and it was supposed to be Channing Tatum playing him, which I totally would have bought. Like, I would have totally seen Channing Tatum.
I feel like I heard someone throw up in the background when I heard Channing Tatum. I feel like there was someone had a timely throw up moment right there. So
my wife just sneezed.
Oh, it was appropriate. It was good timing. So Channing Tatum, okay, fine. The thing that scares me about franchises like that is I feel like when they're a strong franchise, but not they're super strong, and this is where you need some creativity, they'll go the way of a Punisher. It took them like 5 fucking times to get one good Punisher movie. Like, do I need to talk about Dolph Lundgren? Do I need to talk about all the other bullshit ones they had after that? And then they had the one with Thomas Jane was pretty good, I feel. And that was good. It wasn't great. And that's the only time I get worried about them. Like, I feel like there's storylines built into some of these comic series that they could just take and kind of recreate. And they've done that to an extent. But there's just so many other characters they could explore deeply. Like, I feel like they did a good job with Wolverine. Wolverine was popular, though, so that was the easy one, right? I feel like they need to just explore characters nobody knows about, because I just feel like a lot of movie making in this era is either recycled or borrowed, and you're not seeing too much of creativity. And I know I'm talking about recycling a different story here in the comic book world, but I feel like, with the age range of people that are going to be into it, which is my age range or below, we saw comic book cards. We collected them. We're like, ooh, Silver Surfer, Ghost Rider, all those guys.
You were the guy that liked Silver Surfer.
No, I wasn't a huge Silver Surfer guy. I thought Ghost Rider was kind of weird. I was more of a Gambit guy, actually, because I think he got
Spawn.
Spawn was
Spawn was
cool.
my dude.
Spawn was my dude as well. I don't know, man. I think it's something that needs to happen. But listen, we're running out of time. We geeked out on two subjects. We got jiggy with it, and we talked about Batman. And I'm gonna have to table some subjects for next week. I was gonna talk about how Wyze camera is being exploited and it could spy on you having sex and stuff like that. But we'll have to save that for next week. So if you guys want to hear about that, that's all over the internet. Apparently for years, Wyze new hackers could remotely access your camera for 3 years and said nothing. That we'll talk about next week. That's pretty fucking disturbing because I have one. Good thing it's in my kitchen and not my bedroom. Amazon's listening to me have sex, and now Wyze wants to watch me too. It's just too much. It's too much.
I want to watch you too.
Nope, not gonna happen. That's why I'm gonna have to have a VPN or a virtual network protecting me from Mike's hacking efforts. Toxic Mike, you get like a Alexa. Boop boop. Toxic Mike wants to view your party. No, beep. The Ring camera will let you know when people are hacking out. Anyway, that being said, folks, Alex, thanks for calling in. Thanks for listening, everybody. And thanks for having some fun this week. Next week, we might move the show to Saturday. Might keep it on Thursday. Keep abreast. We'll let you know. We got Birds Deep after this next week, and we got some scheduling conflicts within the studio, but we'll make it work. The show will happen. We'll just have to figure out what day. So, I will put an update on the page, maybe at 7:01 p.m. or 6:01 p.m. on Thursday, but you'll find out anyway. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in, folks. You know where to get the show. You know where to listen. And this is D. Godfrey, not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.